Look at all of the crazy cults that we have seen in our world. There are cults that believe that UFOs started religion, as well as those who believe that if you commit suicide in the right way on the right day, the mothership will stop and pick you up. How many of you remember Heaven's Gate cult that was led by Marshall Applegate? They believed Earth and everything on it was about to be recycled. And they believed they could hitch a ride on Comet Hale-Bopp. The name alone would say, I probably don't want to ride that ship. Sadly, 39 members, including Applewhite, poisoned themselves in shifts in a California mansion wearing Nike sneakers and armbeds that read Heaven's Gate Away Team. We will follow leaderless sheep. And we don't always do it in the form of a cult. Sometimes we follow singularly, other people. And in the process of listening to false voices and following those other leaderless sheep, we walk away from the protection of the shepherd. We don't have to be in a mansion in California to do it. Jesus says that He is the good shepherd. He says that you should test those in positions of leadership over you. You should critique the things that I say to you. Is it biblical? Is it grounded? Is it sure? And if it's not, then you do not need to be listening to me. The Good Shepherd says that his sheep know his voice. And so do you hear his voice or do you hear mine? Do you blindly accept what I say or do you look it up for yourself? When we follow leaderless sheep, be they cult leaders, pastors, our friends who seem to have it all together when they really may not, we walk away from the protection of the true shepherd. From the very beginning of time, God intended to be a shepherd over us. He intended to watch over us, nurture us, protect us, take care of us. But in order for Him to do that, we need to stay in the pasture. But like sheep making bad decisions, we wander away. And the reality is that when we wander away, we are helpless. We are like sheep before predators with no way to defend ourselves. The Scripture tells us that Satan is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. You realize lions eat sheep, right? And that word devour, well, just think if you were sitting at, Thanksgiving or your Christmas table, and you say someone just devoured that plate in front of them. That's really not a positive image, is it? We had a nice meal. That was a very satisfying meal. We ate a lot. He devoured what was put in front of him. The devil roars and roams, seeking whom he may not politely fill his stomach on, but whom he may devour. There is no protection that you can generate. What are you going to do? Tell him to get back? Get back? Yeah, that's influencing, right? If only we had a shepherd to protect us, to drive away the lion. God decided to come in a more personal form. He wasn't really teaching anything new. Do you appreciate that irony? The same God of the Old Testament who wanted to shepherd and nurture and love his people is the same God we find in the manger? He was teaching the same message, but he was doing it this time in a very personal way. Not through prophets, not through judges, not through kings, but through his own Son. His grace has always been enough. But this time he wanted us to hear that message through his Son. He had to get up in our face, so to speak, so that we would hear him. You ever had to do that with your kids, your grandkids? They're seemingly deaf until you get right up in their face, and then all of a sudden you got their attention. Well, folks, the baby in the manger was God's way of getting right in our face and getting our attention. He told us the same message. He told us he loves us. He told us of God's mercy. He told us of God's righteousness. Jesus told us of God's judgment. He told us also of God's grace. Come, commit your life to me and follow me. Like a sheep, follow the shepherd, for I am the true shepherd. Come and follow me. Don't just say it with your mouth, but say it with your life. Don't just talk, but walk. Don't just pretend, but give me your life. Give me what you think is good. Give me what you know is bad. Give me all your heart. Give me all your soul. Come, follow me. Sheep follow shepherds. But only good shepherds are worth following, and Jesus was the best. Jesus cries out to us and says, I want you to follow me, only that I can help you become the person that you were truly meant to be. There may be some bad things about your present life that need to be left behind as you become more of who you were created to be. But there is nothing about you that will cause me to turn away. In the words of the song, I have always loved you, and I always will. Give me your brokenness, because I came to make you peacefully whole. I am the good shepherd. Come to my pasture. It is green, and it is full. All the others are thieves. All the others are but false voices who steal and kill and destroy. But I have come that you might have life and have it to its fullest. Come follow me, and let me be your shepherd. So on that night, so very many nights ago, the sheep were on a hillside under the care of their shepherds. The sky splits open, the angel appears, and their shepherds hear the birth of their shepherd. And maybe, just maybe, as the shepherds went to see the baby, one little lamb gets brought along. The one little lamb that meets the good shepherd on that night. The one little lamb learning right there in the stable. So here we are. Sheepish people. We make bad choices. Sometimes we follow false voices. We follow other leaderless sheep. We lose our way, and we need a shepherd to show us the path. Here we are, sheepish people. We cannot defend ourselves against the adversary who would devour our lives. We need a shepherd strong enough to defend our heart, our soul, and sometimes, yes, even our very lives. Here we are, sheepish people, with a choice. Either we keep making the bad ones and putting ourselves in peril, or we choose to follow the Good Shepherd. I don't know who you are listening to, but I'm pretty sure you know who you're listening to. I believe you can look at where your life is right now and know if you've been following a voice that is leading you away from the pasture or one that's drawing you into the heart of it. Folks, Christmas is a time to remember the Good Shepherd. That's what Christmas is all about. Emmanuel, God with us, to carry our burdens, to give us contentment and peace. Emmanuel, God with us, to lead us in the right ways. Maybe this morning you've gotten a little distracted from listening to the Good Shepherd. Maybe the false voices have caused you to wander away. Well, quit listening to them and get back into the pasture. Just because we choose to follow Christ doesn't mean that the devil doesn't quit trying to steal the sheep from the pasture. In fact, he never quits, because every sheep he can lure out of the pasture is one more for him. Don't be a shepherdless sheep. Don't be a shepherdless sheep this Christmas. I pray every time you look at the nativity scene and you see those white fluffy animals, it'll remind you that you need a shepherd too.